Okay. Hey everyone, Ari Fuld. I'm back here in the center of Jerusalem. An amazing, amazing event is going on here. 1,000 kids, youth are here demanding sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. I have the honor and privilege to interview here Sharren Haskel, a member of Knesset from the Likud party.
That's right.
First of all, does this blow your mind? I mean...
Absolutely. You need to be here to feel the energy around. There's thousands of youth coming here, Zionists that have, morals, and the word settling the land of Israel is something that really excites them. Absolutely beautiful.
You saw in the beginning, we were downstairs, we were interviewing 15, 16, 17, you're talking about Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel. So let's get to the meat of the issue here. We're talking about demand of sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. As of right now, the international community, the international playing field, let's call it, calls people like myself who live in Gush Etzion illegal occupiers. So as someone who's in the Knesset, how would you deal with that? If it's on, without even the sovereignty, just deal with it now. Jews are living in Judea and Samaria, they call it the West Bank, of course. These are illegal occupiers. What's your answer as a member of the Knesset to the international community?
So what I do is represent Israel in international forums, like for example the IPU, the International Parliamentarian Union, and over there I speak to people about the issues in Judea and Samaria. More than that, I will take a lot of parliamentarians, ambassadors, journalists to those areas to show, not to just hear about what's happening in Israel, but see it on the ground, feel it, smell it, experience it, and get some knowledge, get some of the history, the geography, the security needs, and then they suddenly change their perspective. Just last month, I took a parliament member from Sweden and a mayor from Sweden, and they were absolutely amazed. They invited me next month to come and speak about UNRWA in Judea and Samaria
Sweden's a tough place.
in the Swedish parliament. So this is how we change the reality.
Well, we know that Sweden's very tough with Israel right now.
Absolutely.
So my question is the following. When it comes to sovereignty over Judea and Samaria, the world would say, how dare you? What right do you have over Judea and Samaria? How dare you do that over the people who are there? What right do you have sovereignty over Judea and Samaria?
Well, let's speak about the history. The Jewish Israeli history that goes back thousands of years. You just need to go to any place, any hill, and start digging, and you'll find archaeological sites with coins, with different pieces of history that are connected to the Jewish history. More than that, this is an area that's connected to our tradition, to our religion. This is something that is part of us. And more, I think this is the right and the moral thing to do. We see what is happening all around the Middle East. We see how dictators are controlling and ruling over countries, what kind of violent conflicts are happening all around. I believe that only with applying the Israeli law, the Israeli government in these areas will finally be able to see peace and stability as we see in the other areas of Israel as well.
Last question I'm asking, I know you have to go. I found as a citizen that the narrative is changing. In other words, if we go back 26 years, I was demonstrating against Oslo, and the whole statement of two-state solution, whether it was coexistence or now it's separation, and to speak of sovereignty just 10 years ago was, oh, you're a radical, fanatic, crazy person. Do you feel that the narrative is changing?
Absolutely. I mean, all of us are feeling it. I've been through that as well. Sobering up from this ideas, from this fantasy that we were told to. And this is only by experiencing, seeing how history have dictated what is going to be our faith if we fall to any act like we've done, for example, with Gaza or with the Oslo Accord. So you just need to look on the history and sober up from all of these ideas. And when you do that, you realize that this is the only solution in Israel.
I want to promise you, last question. People say it's unrealistic. Unrealistic to have sovereignty over Judea and Samaria.
We've heard that for thousands of years throughout our history. It is impossible. Throughout every step through the Jewish history, through almost every genocide, every Shoah, every extermination of the Jewish people, told to us, this is impossible, this is wrong. But we stood by our morals, we overcome almost every challenge that came to us throughout history. This is another challenge that we will overcome as well.
Thank you so much for your time. And,
thanks a lot.
Great to have you here.
Cheers.
All right, so we're listening again.
Sharren
Haskel, member of Knesset from the Likud party. right here. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot. Cheers.
So another continuation of what we're seeing here the whole day, an unbelievable, really unbelievable movement here going on. And the interesting thing is that it's spanning throughout many parts of government. You know, it used to be only the right-wing, fanatic, quote, religious party, but we have, again, from the Likud party, traditional, and even, the more moderates, quote unquote, who were once upon a time voting for, all kinds of land for peace kind of deals. The party is over. The narrative has changed. We are talking now about sovereignty, and we're hearing it from the center right to all the way to the right. And please God, we will be successful in doing that. I want to. Let me get in here for 1 second. Bezalel Smotrich, member of Knesset from the National Union Party. We're going to interview him in Hebrew, and then we're going to translate. So give me 1 second. You don't want to miss this interview. Share this out right now. We're going to get here in 1 second.
Where's this going
So we're going to get the interview in 1 second. He's taking the time to speak to the youth here. They want to know, how can we move forward with this? Practically, how do we do this? And every person is giving them answers to practically how to move forward on this idea of sovereignty, how to move these ideas forward. The motivation of the youth here is unbelievable. To see that they want to change things. They want to change. They have enough of the narrative, the land for peace idea. They just want change, and the youth here is just charging forward. The motivation is truly unbelievable. שנייה אחת, אני אתרגם, בסדר? חבר הכנסת בצלאל סמוטריץ' כאן. בוא נגיד שהימין, לאחרונה, הנרטיב של ריבונות היה הנרטיב של ימין. אפילו הימין הקיצוני כמו שקראו לנו. אתה מרגיש את התזוזה למרכז שכולם מדברים על זה עכשיו, ואיך אנחנו נתקדם?
קודם כל היום, כנסת. בסדר? זה הפך למיינסטרים.
Today in the Knesset,
מפלגות שלמות, בליכוד, בבית היהודי, במפלגות החרדיות, מדברות על ריבונות כמשהו ריאלי, כמשהו מעשי. אני אומר שמעולם החלת הריבונות לא הייתה צעד ריאלי יותר מעבר לפינה ממשהו היום.
ואנשים עדיין אומרים שזה לא ריאלי. מה אתה עונה להם? זה לא ריאלי.
אני עונה להם שבתוך חודשים ספורים תהיה פריצה בעניין הזה בכנסת, להעביר חוק, לא יודע אם זה עכשיו מעלה אדומים או ברחבה ההתיישבותית, זה לא משנה, תהיה פריצת דרך, כולם יראו שהשמיים לא נפלו, ועם האוכל והתיאבון נתקדם הלאה.
תודה רבה. חבר הכנסת בצלאל סמוטריץ', what he was saying basically, he said that he feels that the entire narrative of sovereignty has moved to the center. It used to be only the right-wing parties like his who were talking about sovereignty over Judea Samaria. People called him fanatic and all kinds of names. And now we appeal from the Likud, from the Jewish Home, from the National Union Party, which he's in. Everybody's talking about sovereignty. And then I asked him, do you feel that this idea of sovereignty over Judea and Samaria is a realistic idea? And he said it's realistic, it's the mother of all realism. And within a couple of months, he told me right here, he said that he will be passing a law in the Knesset which will make this idea of sovereignty one that will be practical and must be moved forward on. Chaver Knesset Bezalel Smotrich, you can look him up from the National Union Party. Things are changing, and if you want to know who's changing it, it's the youth in Israel who's changing it. Tremendous amount of motivation and power coming from these kids. Let me go inside.
תשמעי, זה לא החלטה שלי, זה המדיניות של החברה. שאת יכולה עכשיו לבוא לחתום מאחורי הקו?
אני רוצה להגיד שאם יש צעד כזה, אני יכולה לקבל את העובדה.
What they're doing is they're role playing.
They're
role playing on what do you do with leftists who argue with you. After 51 years, it's time to tell the world all of the land of Israel is ours. We demand laws in the Knesset to be passed. And then we will put sovereignty over the entire land of Israel. Again, I just want to say one more time before we finish off, I'm going to sign off in a second. This kind of event, packing a hall, packed to the brims here, it's popping at the seams, was not possible just 6-7 years ago. There's no way, no how. We were too busy fighting the narrative of a two-state solution. And here we have a full room filled with youth, motivated and driven. And we're not discussing how to stop the two-state solution anymore. That is dead. The two-state solution is it's a dead horse. Nobody's talking about it now. We're talking about the next step. The next step is sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. And we have here from the center to the right, everybody's talking about this. The narrative has changed. We are looking at some serious changes in the land of Israel, state of Israel right now. You definitely want to keep a finger on this pulse, and in the next couple of months, according to the member of Knesset, Bezalel Smotrich, he will pass along the Knesset, which will make this effort actually yasim. It'll be practical and be moving ahead. Important times in the state of Israel. I am really proud of the Noah, the youth here. I want to say thank you, a tremendous thank you to the organization who has put this all together. They started 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it's a bunch of people in a room saying, we got to do this. We got to talk about sovereignty, Judea and Samaria. Everybody called them crazy. And 5 years later, they're packed in the house, and the idea is no longer a dream. It is now what has to be done. You could, by the way, check out the link right there. I put it up. I'll pin it up. You should all check out the link over there. You could read up, as well as on the ideas of sovereignty, what it means, and there are questions you can ask. There are also, many are asking, what are you going to do with the Arabs who live in the area? These are questions to be asked. There are answers over the next couple of weeks. I will be giving interviews with different members of Knesset who said here that they're pro the sovereignty movement, and we're going to discuss all those details as well. So stay tuned. I'm asking everyone, please like the page and make sure that you hit subscribe that I did. You can get the videos first so you don't miss the videos. And that's about it, everyone. I'm signing off from the beautiful, stunning, capital holy city of Israel, Jerusalem. Okay, and by the way, if you want to read more about the sovereignty movement, it's right there. I just pinned it there. There's the link. Check out the link. Read through it. You can ask me questions there as well. Signing off, Ari Fuld from Jerusalem. Take care, everyone.